Welcome to H2O in the Know. In today's episode, we'll cover recycling, what plastic bottled water containers are made of, and what happens to recycled bottles once you're done with them. I'm your host, Chris Torres, and joining us today is Laura Stewart. Laura is the Communications Director of the National Association for PET Container Resources, also known as NAPCOR. Laura, it's great to have you on today. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, Chris.
All right, so to start off, my first question is about PET. Most single-serve plastic beverage containers out there, including bottled water, are made of a plastic called PET. Just what exactly is PET?
Yeah, no, that's a great place to start. So PET stands for polyethylene terephthalate, and it's a form of polyester. PET bottles and containers have been safely used to package beverage, food, personal care, and household items since the introduction of the first PET bottle in the 70s. On the bottom of the plastic bottled water container is a resin identification code, and if it's PET, it will be identified by the number 1 code on or near the bottom of the container. PET is widely used. Packaging designers and manufacturers like PET because it's safe, strong, transparent, and versatile, and it also helps protect product integrity, freshness, and taste. Consumers choose it for its clarity, the lightweight properties, resealability, shatter resistance, and innovative style.
So, why is it important to recycle your plastic bottled water containers?
Yeah, it's really important to recycle your plastic bottled water containers as it's a valuable raw material for many end market. It's also the right thing to do to eliminate waste from landfills. One area that, if I can point your listeners to, is we do have a great video on NAPCOR.com /recycling that illustrates what really happens when you do the right thing and recycle your plastic bottled water container. After you recycle, the bottle travels to a MRF, which stands for a Material Recovery Facility. And from there, all the recycled material is separated into different streams for further processing. And the PET recycled material travels to a reclaimer who then sorts, grinds, washes, and dries the clean flake. And from there, it can be used into bottles or other PET packaging, or even end markets like fiber for carpet or apparel.
It's pretty interesting. There's a lot that goes into it once the bottle leaves you. What are some of the environmental benefits from recycling bottled water containers?
Yeah, again, by recycling the bottled water containers, you can help eliminate waste that would normally be landfilled. By recycling the bottled water container, you really do make a difference. One example that I like to point out is if each person in a city of about 200,000 people, or the size of Providence, Rhode Island, recycles just 1 PET water bottle a day, the greenhouse gas savings is equivalent to 240 cars off the road each year, or provides power to 695 households per year. And that's only a piece of it. Another thing that we've discovered, another added benefit of recycling, is the jobs that are created within the industry. And we estimate that number to equal 600 to 800 million added to the economy each year. So it is really important to do. It's the right thing, but there's a lot of additional benefits.
So let's talk about the bottle caps on PET containers now. Are those also recyclable?
They are. The caps are recyclable as well. And a lot of people ask, should we keep the caps on or take them off when recycling? And we recommend keeping the caps on when you recycle the bottle. During the recycling process, as the PET bottles are cleaned and ground, they'll enter a float sink tank where clean PET flake sinks and the caps float, so they become separated. And the cap material is then sorted separately in another material recovery stream from the recycled PET flakes. So they're definitely part of the recycling stream.
Can you tell me a little bit more about the cap? Is it made from something different than the rest of the bottle?
It is. The caps are most commonly made from high-density polyethylene or polypropylene material. And really both materials have strong demand for recycled product and are used in things like park benches or decking material. So they do have a nice recovery stream as well.
Okay. Now you just mentioned that people should keep their caps on when recycling their bottles, but should they just toss them in the recycling bin as is, or can they flatten the bottle before tossing them in the bin?
Yeah, that's a good question. And the most important thing is that they make it in the bin. But we do recommend emptying and replacing the cap when you're ready to recycle your bottled water container. To help with the recycling process, it is best that they aren't flattened, as they could be sorted with paper products. But again, the most important thing is that they make it in the recycling bin.
And what about the label?
Yeah, the label is also separated during the recycling process. And most major brands of bottled water adhere to design for recyclability guidelines. And these brand owners, they want to see that their bottles are recycled and ensure that the entire package is easy to recycle. Through the recycling process, the labels are separated from the clean PET, as is any adhesive. And again, the video that I pointed out earlier on our website provides a great illustration of really what happens throughout the stream. But all of the components that are part of that bottled water container are separated and all get recycled.
Can a PET bottle be recycled over and over, or does it lose quality over time?
Yeah, a PET bottle may be recycled countless times. One of the key advantages of PET is that there are processes available to recycle PET flake that allow it to be boosted or strengthened back to its original molecular properties or weight. This process allows the recycled flake to be used in bottles that meet the high specifications of the brand owners. And many PET bottles contain a percentage of post-consumer recycled PET flake. Again, illustrating one of the great benefits of PET. So it is possible to be recycled over and over.
And what kinds of products are made from PET bottles? I know you mentioned a few examples earlier.
Yeah. No, this is, I'm always amazed at the wide range of products that are made from post-consumer recycled PET and PET bottles. So there are many products that I can pull as examples. One of the largest markets is the fiber market. So this would include things like fleece jackets, athletic apparel, fiber fill that might be in pillows or sleeping bags. And most recently, we've learned the NBA has used recycled PET in some of its jerseys, so the athletic jerseys that the players wear. And additionally, carpet is another very large end market. So carpet that is found in homes and businesses rely on recycled PET, as does the automotive industry for fibers. So there is a lot of places that you may not consider recycled product going into, especially recycled PET. And this is just touching on a few. The other piece that I may have mentioned earlier is that recycled PET flake can also be used in production of future water bottles and other packaging containers. So there's a multitude of different streams where that material will end up.
So now that we've discussed PET at a pretty good length, what's rPET or rPET?
Yeah, so rPET or rPET stands for recycled PET. So basically, once the PET molecule goes through the recovery process, it becomes rPET. So the rPET flake is then what might be used, as we talked about earlier, into end products like fiber applications or other packaging applications.
Where can I learn more about PET bottles?
Yeah, to learn more about PET bottles or other items made from PET, including the recovery process, I would suggest going to our website, which is www.napcor.com.
All right, thanks, Laura. That's all I have. Thanks again for coming on with us today and joining the podcast.
You're welcome.
No problem. And I hope the listeners were able to take away some things that they didn't know about bottled water containers or recycling that they didn't know beforehand. I mean, I know I certainly have. Once again, it was great having you on.
Great. Thank you so much.
All right, and we want to thank the listeners for checking in today, and remember to stick with us on SoundCloud, which is where you'll find more episodes of H2O in the Know. This is Chris Torres signing off. We'll see you next time. Music by royalty-freemusiclibrary.com.